Yo, what's up people? It's your boy Evan Songwai and I'm back again with another video. Today we are going to talk about Kenya's semiconductor dream. Can we design chips in Kenya? Can we design chips in Nairobi? That is the biggest question. So I want you to pause and close your eyes for a second and imagine this. It is 2035. You walk into a tech lab in Nairobi, not a cyber cafe, not a betting shop, a chip design lab. On the wall is a screen displaying a microscopic circuitry, tiny patterns that look like a futuristic cities. And at the bottom of the screen, etched into the silicon, are 3 words saying designed in Nairobi. Now open your eyes, because this is not science fiction. This is the decision. For years, when we talked about technology in Africa, we talked about apps, websites, mobile money, e-commerce, social media, and fintech. We built on top of platforms. We coded on top of other operating systems. We optimized what someone else has already engineered. But beneath every app, beneath every AI model, beneath every mobile transaction, there is a chip. And almost every powerful chip on the earth today is designed in places like Silicon Valley, Taipei, and Shenzhen. Very few are designed in Nairobi. The question is not whether we can consume the technology. The question is whether we can design the silicon that runs it. Let me introduce you into the quiet revolution most people are not willing to accept or pay attention to. It is called the fabless movement. Fabless means design the chip, but you don't own the factory. You create the architecture, the logic, the power optimization, the purpose, and then you send the design to a fabrication plant overseas, often places like C2, where companies like TSMC manufacture it. That's how giants like Nvidia and Qualcomm operate. They don't own most of the factories, they leverage. Now here is the tension. Africa imports every router, every smartphone, every smart meter, every satellite component. Imported. Yet, our problems are different. Our power grids are unstable. Our rural clinics need ultra low power medical devices. Our agriculture needs rugged IoT, Internet of Things sensors that survive heat, dust, and unreliable connectivity. Our banks need secure offline fast hardware for digital payments. Who understands this constraint better than we do? This is the gap. And inside every gap, there is an opportunity. Let's activate the identity. Right now, many young engineers in Kenya see themselves as coders, web developers, maybe mobile application developers. But we know that AI is going to fagilia them all. But what if the next identity shifts in this? Silicon architects, hardware strategists, chip designers for Africa, not consumers of global innovation, architects of continental infrastructure. When you change the identity, behaviors follow. If you see yourself as someone waiting for imported technology, you wait. If you see yourself as someone who designs foundational systems and study differently, you collaborate differently. You build differently. And you are built differently. The emotional shift is from dependency to authorship, from reacting to building, from importing solutions to defining constraints. Because here is the deeper truth. The global semiconductor supply chain is fragile. We saw that during the chip shortages, we saw how geopolitics can freeze supply lines overnight. Countries now treat chips as national security assets. So, why should Kenya future infrastructure depend entirely on foreign silicon? That is the tension loop. We want technology sovereignty, but we rely on imported cores. We want AI for Africa, but the hardware layer is foreign. We want to digitize agriculture, health, and finance, but silicon brains are designed elsewhere. Unsolved tension creates movement. Now let's be realistic, we have to be realistic. Building a fabrication plant in Kenya today will cost billions of dollars, but that is not where we start. We start from fabless. What is fabless? I told you fabless is designing the chip and sending it to a company which is overseas. They will develop it. We just design. So what we will have to do, we will have to design first. Tools already exist. Open architecture like RISC-V, RISC-V allow engineers anywhere to design processors and without paying massive licensing fees. Simulation software can run high-performance workstations. Cloud-based electronic design automation tools exist. What is required is not billion-dollar factory, it is coordinated ecosystem. Universities teaching VLSI design. Startups focused on niche African hardware problems. Government incentives for semiconductor R&D. Venture capital willing to think 10 years ahead. And cultural shift that make the hardware sexy again. Imagine a Nairobi-based startup designing ultra-low powered chips for the grid of solar controllers. A custom AI accelerators optimized for Swahili speech recognition at the edge. Secure microcontrollers for mobile money devices that function offline in rural areas. Agriculture sensors chips built for African climates. These are not fantasies. They are specialized problems. And specialization is now is how smaller ecosystems compete globally. Taiwan did not become powerful by copying everything. It is specialized. Now TSMC manufactures chips in the world. What if Kenya specializes in rugged, low power and African fast semiconductor design? Here is where the cult of energy comes in. Every technological revolution begins with a small group who believed something before it became obvious. Before Elon Musk built rockets, private space was considered unrealistic. Before mobile money scaled, digital payments in Africa were considered risky. Before AI exploded, it was a research niche. The people who win are the ones who align early with the infrastructure shifts. Semiconductors are infrastructure. Invisible, foundational, and strategic. If you are watching this and you are studying electrical engineering, computer engineering, physics, mathematics, this is your frontier. Not just building another app, designing the layer beneath the app. Let's define the drive. The drive is not just money, it is strategic relevance. Because when you design the chip, you define the constraints. When you define culturally, that is the real battle. That is the real battle. But do we believe we can operate at this level? Do investors believe it? Do universities structure around it? Do policymakers prioritize it? Attention remains open. But here is what I know. It will be they will be in 20 years. Will not just be about the software, and they will be about maybe AI, about AI hardware, AI infrastructure, edge computing, energy efficiency processing, secure embedded systems, and regions that ignore silicon layer will remain dependent on those who control it. So here is the call to action. If you are a student, start learning digital logic, VLSI, design, computer architecture. And if you are a founder, look for hardware problems unique to African markets. And if you are an investor, think long-term infrastructure, not short-term hype. And if you are in government, build semiconductor research clusters in Nairobi. And if you are simply a citizen who believes Africa can lead, not follow, start talking about chips the way we talk about startups. Shift the narrative, shift the identity. Because one day, a child in Nairobi, not even Nairobi, a child from anywhere in Kenya will hold a developed device powered by a chip optimized in Africa, which was made in Kenya. And on that silicon, etched small than a grain of sand, will be the words designed in Nairobi. And that will not just be technology, that will be sovereignty, and that will be identity. That will be the moment we stop consuming the future and start engineering it. Welcome to Overlooks University. If you are a new student here, I want you to subscribe down below, comment on the comment down below, and use the link on the description to join the university. It is free of charge, and the early people get to benefit from this, so don't miss out the chance to reap all the benefits. So with that being said, have a wonderful time. Subscribe down below. Peace out.